Hello, welcome back to 30 Days of Mania, WrestleMania XXVII. And as you can hear, The Rock's music playing after his great match with the... oh, wait, no, he didn't wrestle, but he's still closing the show. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Surprise, surprise!
In fact, let's do what we did with 25. We'll talk about the main event first. John Cena versus The Miz. The Miz, the WWE Champion at the time. He'd cashed in Money in the Bank at the end of 2010. Had a pretty good run as this heel champion. He was a very, very good heel, I thought.
Yeah, I was like, what happened?
Yeah, he's really sunk down the ranks now. And
get his autograph for free.
That really is a good indication, isn't it?
Yeah. But then again, you can get big shows for free as well, can you?
I don't know, actually. Not sure about that.
I think he wasn't on the VIP thing.
No. We're talking about access for WrestleMania 30.
Yeah. So it's not for free, really.
We're not talking about, that's what we're referring to. Yes, so John Cena The Miz starts out great with the entrances. I mean, instead of having a hype video detailing their feud, they had a video each looking at their kind of characters. So we had like a profile on The Miz kind of growing up on reality television, on MTV's The Real World, you know, going into Tough Enough, winning. I'm not sure if he won Tough Enough, actually. He was in Tough Enough, and then he moved on and he, you know, was a host on SmackDown, then he became a wrestler, then he won the US title, then he won the WWE title and Money in the Bank, and it was a great kind of setup with Miz sitting in front of like a collection of TV screens, and he was like playing, you know, all the footage and stuff and looking back on it. And that
bet it does that every night.
Well done, you made me laugh a lot, twice.
Let's go for 3! Oh!
That doesn't count. Yeah. It was a great, really well put together video. Music really suited it and everything, and yeah. And then Miz came out. He had this big, inflatable, awesome sign. He pushed it away. He came out with his little crony, Alex Riley, and then
inflatable tube man.
Huh?
Inflatable tube man.
Inflatable tube man.
Wait, what was it again?
Wacky waving inflatable arm inflating tube man.
Yeah, it's tube man.
What?
You said tube man.
Crony.
What?
I said the Miz's crony, Alex Riley.
No, you said inflatable.
Yeah.
Awesome sign.
Yeah.
I'm saying inflatable tube man.
Oh right. No, it doesn't really work.
I didn't call the guy that.
Oh right. Okay. Inflatable tube. No, I didn't say tube. I didn't say tube.
You said inflatable. That's all I needed.
Oh right. Okay. Well, it wasn't. That wasn't that funny.
No, not anymore.
No.
Because you ruined it. Does that count?
Yeah.
Yes. Let's go for 4.
Oh, that was really lame. Okay, let's just keep going. And then this big, massive choir, African American choir came onto the stage, and they, you know, the whole clapping and yeah, and all that. And
well, that happened in the end. Before that, she was just going ah, and then there was a video with Cena and how his messenger sent from God to bring the kids up to. I'm kidding. Does that count?
Enough of it. I'm gonna laugh. Just
DMX in the background doing his prayer to God.
Yeah.
Which is on one of his CDs. I can't remember which one, but I've heard it quite a lot. And if someone can do a thing like that, it's DMX, because he's like cool and stuff. So that was pretty cool. It's kind of like I had to stop everything I was doing because I was kind of drawn in because it's pretty good. Cena always has good stuff.
Really well put together, and then the choir was singing, and they kind of transitioned into "Your time is up, my time is now." I remember seeing it live, I was just like, oh my god, but it is cool. I do enjoy it.
But then, of course, the crowd
booing.
was booing, even though that was brilliant. Yeah. The whole thing was great.
Cena comes out and boos again. At the time, debuting a new color of t-shirt. Ooh. Everyone was like, oh my god. Time. No, it was red. It was red. I think Orange was the year before. 26.
I really want to check now because you're colorblind.
100% red. I'm colorblind in shades, not colors. So
that is
the
a
match
shade almost.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, you know, my this is going so off track. Yeah, blue and purple, green and brown.
That's not shades, those are colours.
Alright, they're not okay, but they're similar. They're similar. Green and brown are similar. Blue and purple are similar.
We should go on.
There is a link between them.
This is like an insane discussion.
They're not shades though, you're right, I was wrong. I'll admit that. Moving on, Miz vs John Cena. Everyone thinks it's a crap match. I think it's a good match. I enjoyed it. I think it suffered the same fate that Randy Savage and Ted DiBiase suffered at WrestleMania 4 when they had their match, the final of the big tournament, and everyone was just waiting for Hogan to come out. So they never really had the crowd. And this time everyone's just waiting for The Rock to come out. Because The Rock and Cena have been feuding on TV, and it was really The Rock Cena show with The Miz kind of as a supporting character holding the belt. To kind of give Cena an excuse to be there, almost, not quite, but almost. So everyone was just waiting for The Rock to come out. The crowd weren't getting fully into it, but quite a lot of chance for Miz. People were digging The Miz at this time, even though he was the heel. Alex Riley there at ringside trying to cost Cena the match. I thought there was some good stuff in this match. I really did enjoy it. It's not great, but it was enjoyable. Then Cena spears Miz off the one of the barricades around the ring onto the concrete, and it's just unbelievable. One of the not worst, but one of the best / worst concrete bumps I've ever seen. Miz just flat out bumps on this concrete and cracks his head on the back.
Didn't crack his head, he hits it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Do you see blood?
Oh, I didn't say cracked open. I said cracked as in crack. I'm not saying he cracked his skull over. Or he hit his head.
When you say you crack a rib or crack a bone.
Oh, sorry. Okay, fair enough. It was just a turn of phrase. He smacked his head on the floor, and he was knocked out, or he had a concussion, from what I understand. And then the match was ended in a count-out draw, and it was just like bullshit. The Rock comes out, and he's like, and then the Raw General Manager, anonymous Raw General Manager thing pops up on the laptop, and it's just like, this is like an episode of Raw, And that brings me back to the beginning of this WrestleMania when The Rock came out for about 10 minutes and just did a promo where literally he said, "I say yabba, you say dabba. Yabba, dabba." And I was sitting there watching it on TV with my mates thinking, this is WrestleMania. What? And this is also the show where Daniel Bryan and Sheamus got bumped off the card. I was pissed. Anyway, there's a whole other story. John Cena Miz, Rock comes out, he says, "I'm restarting the match," he does his promo and everything, and then basically just rock bottoms Cena and Miz pins him. And then to send the crowd home happy, I guess, The Rock then beats up The Miz and his music plays. And yeah, if they hadn't announced the next night on Raw that Rock and Cena were going to be wrestling a year later at WrestleMania XXVIII, then I think it would have been just ridiculous. But I can see why they did it, and for me it wasn't that terrible, but it wasn't great either. Anything you want to add about the match?
I didn't really enjoy it.
Yeah, okay. Now, The Miz takes the attitude adjustment so well, it was awesome. Proper just height and perfect, yeah, anyway. The main match of this show is Triple H and The Undertaker. It was only, I guess it was inevitable, now that Shawn was retired, that Triple H would kind of enter the fray. And that whole thing where they built it up where Undertaker came back after like a year and just kind of just came out to the ring, stood in the ring, and then Triple H's music hit and he came back after like a year. And then they just stared at each other for like 5 minutes and then looked up at the WrestleMania sign. And then it was like...
I wanted to draw that, because that was good.
It was. And I just want to say, and my mate Gav will back me up on this, and he's going to WrestleMania 30 as well, I called that whole thing before it even happened. I said, you know what would be great? If Undertaker just came out and just stood there, and then Triple H just came out, and they just stood there, and that was it. And it was just one of those random ideas I had, and it fucking happened, and it was awesome. I was like, Gav, it happened! And
He seems to be like wrestling psychic.
Not really. A lot of times, I don't, you can't predict what's going to happen, but I just thought that was a really uncanny piece of prediction.
You seem to predict everything.
Well, I don't.
You read stuff on it.
Well, yeah, of course I read stuff, but that wasn't. There was no. There was nothing. Anyway, we get so off track on these videos, and we're near the end now, so it's kind of Triple H Undertaker, great match, very slow match, and very. I don't know what the word is, but it's just full of big moves. I don't even know how to put it really. I call myself a wrestling fan. It's just like spine buster through a table, and then like they crawl around for a minute, and then like suicide dive, Undertaker kills himself again. They crawl around for a bit, and then choke slam, and then literally just. But it's a great brawl, a great kind of dramatic match. Probably went on a bit too long, but the length kind of fit what they were trying to tell in the story, which was that Triple H was this absolute beast who was just beating the shit out of the Undertaker. The Undertaker was beating the shit out of him, but Triple H had the edge, and he was just like beating him up with a chair. It was no holds barred. Hit him with 3 pedigrees. He still kicked out and beat him up with a chair. Hit him in the chair with the head, which was illegal, and it still is illegal now. Well, not legal, but they don't allow it. and then you thought that was it. No, and then finally, you know, he's like, stay down. Same thing they did with Shawn and Undertaker. Taker's kind of just climbing up, and he's like, oh, he's fucked. And he's like, yeah, come on, let's go. And he's like almost dead. And then Triple H just does the whole, picks him up, hits him with a tombstone. 1, 2, and they kicked out. And I never thought for a second Triple H was going to win until that moment where Triple H was just looking at Undertaker on the floor, just shaking his head. Actually, that bit where Taker kind of grabs him by the throat, which he did a lot to kind of, you know, and Triple H was just like, because his grip wasn't strong enough, and he just, you know, tombstone. I thought, that's it. And that's what was great about this match, because for just a split second it made me believe that he would lose, which was really good and really got me into it. Of course, Taker won with the Hell's Gate submission after a lengthy kind of struggle. Triple H finally tapped out, and the main kind of story was that Undertaker couldn't actually leave on his own feet. He got taken out by this kind of, not stretcher, but this kind of motorized cart, I don't know, like a little buggy thing.
He's got to do something about his boots, though.
Yeah, the Edge at WrestleMania 24, his nose was all bleeding. Oh, I don't know, something on his face was bleeding after taking the Hell's Gate, and Triple H had blood on his face as well. So obviously, Taker really cinches in that lock and just grinds their face against his boots. Yeah, I think it's a great match. Not as good as the next one they had at WrestleMania 28, because that one there's a lot more going on, I think. But I've only seen that a couple of times, but I really did enjoy watching it again. But again, probably a little bit too long. But I enjoyed the story that went along with it being long. What do you think?
It just doesn't beat Shawn Michaels.
No, it doesn't. That's another thing. Yeah, I remember early on in the match he hits a tombstone on Triple H, and Triple H kicked out, and it was kind of like, oh, but at the same time it was like, well, you know, it's been done before. You know, it wasn't as special. And,
no, because it was amazing when Shawn Michaels did it.
That was a moment.
So why does Triple H get to do it? No one has done it before Shawn Michaels, or have they?
Don't think so, no. Well, maybe
not
it's
that
happened.
We can remember, nothing memorable, and then finally...
At least not WrestleMania.
Yeah, and so it's like, why?
It was like they were just trying, I don't know.
Oh, well, he gets to do it, I get to do it too. Hey, I'm Triple H.
Yeah. But seeing as another tombstone didn't happen, then, I don't know. Yeah. It was just...
I like the way he tapped out, though. It was like I give up kind of tap out. It wasn't like tapping out, it was like...
Yeah, just like...
It was very subtle, it wasn't showing the crowd, it was...
He was just like, oh, fuck, I'm done.
Yep. But when he was lingering in the end, looking at Undertaker staggering off, or out of the ring, I thought I remembered him carrying him out, or like them going together out or something, but...
That kind of happens next year.
With him and Triple H? Okay, that's it then.
Well, it looked like he was going to stop and help him.
Yeah.
And Undertaker just fell flat on his face outside the ring. And this is how good that whole thing was, because when I watched it live, everyone was like, oh, he's fucked, he's done. Undertaker won't wrestle again, look at him, he's knackered. And I'm like, no, he's just selling, you know.
And he's got a full year to recover.
Yeah. So I thought they did a good job with that. And I think it tied very well into their next match, which we'll be talking about tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you then.
Cadoodles. And cinnamon rolls.
What?
Cinnamon rolls.
What is your obsession with cinnamon rolls?
You will see.
I will see. What?
You will see what I mean by cinnamon rolls in a week.
Oh, you want to get one in America?
Not just one.
Not just one.
I made you laugh 3 times.
Cool.
Kind of like 4.
Kinda. In the first for the 30 Days of Mania series, I'm adding a little post note to this. We forgot to talk about who sang America the Beautiful at the start of the show. It was Kerry Hilson, and she left about as much an impression as what was that girl's name?
Temptation.
Yeah. It was okay.